Hi, I'm Jim Barofio.
Hi, I'm Carly.
We are long-term tandem riders and a long-term married couple. We have put together this YouTube channel specifically for the purpose of discussing and illustrating most things, if not all things, tandeming. Ultimately, our motivation for creating this, and by the way, this is way outside of our wheelhouse, no pun intended, is that going online, digging through information pertaining to tandeming, looking on YouTube videos, trying to figure out different considerations pertaining to tandeming, was difficult for us in terms of finding something that was practical and applicable. We have some unique needs and with respect to our tandem interests, and really couldn't find anything like that online. Our hope is that perhaps there are some like-minded people, perhaps people of a similar age group, so people within our cohort that might find some of the things that we get into to be of interest. I do want to say one thing at the outset, and that is this will not be a glitzy, well-varnished process. We simply don't have the time to apply graphics and relatively fancy videography to the process. It will be practical and as no nonsense as possible. We are currently coming to you from Croatia, where we have ended up after starting in Prague and riding from Prague to Český Krumlov, then through Austria, Slovenia. Here we are in Croatia. We're about to make our way on to Bosnia. We will be providing some videos, but also a number of still pictures pertaining to this journey that we refer to as grand adventuring because we are grandparents and we like to adventure. The topics that we're going to cover in these videos will include things such as the feasibility as to whether or not you should get into tandem riding. Tandeming is not for everyone. It is a unique, dynamic process. And when I say dynamic process, it is changing all the time. Your experience of being on a tandem with a partner is changing constantly. In that regard, again, it is not for everyone. We do believe that we have improved in our cooperation, in our collaboration, in our partnership by way of tandeming, and tandeming is now a huge part of our life. The other element that goes to feasibility has to do with learning how to be on a tandem. I don't think anyone figures it out the first time. I have never met anyone that just got it right out of the box.
And
it's hard.
We're still figuring things out.
Oh, 100%. We've been riding a tandem now for over 30 years.
Yeah, and still figuring things out. So.
And
always
candidly,
new stuff.
Yeah, and candidly, sometimes even still have conflict. But that's okay, because that's what you have to work through. That is part of cooperation and relationship. We own a Rodriguez bike built by Rod Bikes, Rodriguez, out of Seattle, Washington. I will tell you, our bike is amazing, and I'll be introducing you to this bike here in a later video. We got to spec this bike, have this bike built specifically for us. It has been everything that we could ask for. It is a true workhorse, and we have taken this bike places it had no business being. We are talking logging trails, fire trails, literally taking this loaded tandem on single track, and it has held up and handled everything we've thrown at it. So hats off to Rodriguez Bikes. I can't say enough good things about those guys. One thing about feasibility in that regard is that Dan Tolles, the owner of Rod Bikes, and by the way, Rodriguez has been making tandems since the 1970s. They know what they're doing.
And they actually make them there from frame up. It's everything is made in their shop there.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see.
It really is. It's a machine. Dan says, don't just jump on a tandem. And he's right. Get a lesson. And Rodriguez Bikes provides lessons for those first time out, maybe early in the process. So yeah, 100% agree with Dan. Get some lessons, figure that out. You can avoid a lot of heartache and quite a few pitfalls if you have a learned mentor in that regard. So we're going to talk a bit about that. We're going to talk a bit about whether or not tandem riding is right for you. We are also going to be talking about purchasing and speccing a bike. Of course, that is a very unique, very personal experience. It depends, completely on the needs that you have and the type of riding that you do. We tend to do long tours and adventuring on this bike. By the way, at present, this is pure pedal power. There is no electrical assist involved. We enjoy that. We enjoy loading up the bike and going unusual places. That's not for everybody. Perhaps you'd be interested in just casual touring as a group, even riding with family members, taking it easy. That's totally cool. You do what makes you feel comfortable.
But I think it's helpful to think about those things ahead of time.
Yeah, exactly. And before we had the Rod bike built, we had quite a few years. We had a couple decades plus on other tandems. So we had a pretty good idea of where we were going and what we wanted to do. Certainly adventuring like this was our primary priority. So we're going to talk about purchasing and how to go about that, how to go about fitting out the bike, kitting the bike. When I introduce the bike to you, I'll show you the different components to this bike and how we've fitted it for distance touring. We're also going to spend quite a bit of time talking about the dynamics of relationship on a tandem. And we're going to cover a lot of ground. We sincerely believe that many of the things that make for a great tandem team make for a great relationship. Things like the obvious: balance, communication, trust, composure. All those things make for a great relationship. They also make for a great tandem partnership. And when I say it is a process, not an event, what I'm ultimately referring to is those are things that you might have early on, but you certainly can further develop those characteristics on a bike. So that's sort of the larger scope view. I do want to speak about or talk to maintenance, field maintenance, the kinds of tools to take with you, what you may need to fix, repair, deal with on the road, all those things to help you be self-sufficient. All right, we will catch up with you in later videos, but that's the initial run. I do want to do a couple of quick shout outs before we go. First of all, I mentioned Rodriguez Bikes. Unbelievable bikes, great bike shop, great builder. Talk to Dan, talk to Smiley over there. Can't say enough good things about this bike. If I had to buy another bike, I would absolutely buy another bike from these guys. Also, absolutely want to shout out to the Bikery at the brewery in Littleton, Colorado. What an incredible group of guys over there. Justin, Cato, Steve, these guys have really helped us maintain this bike. They have also generously given us their time to help us online with a field repair during this trip. Could not ask for a better support group. And that goes to the fact that if you have a tandem, you really do need a good bike shop. This is a complex machine. There are a lot of people who won't work on a tandem. I can tell you the Bikery in Littleton, Colorado, never shies away from anything. These guys are great. So whether or not you use them for service and maintenance, they also sell some great bikes. So check those guys out. They're terrific. Our brewery in South Central Texas, Bandera Brewery, Shout out to those guys. Show them some love if you get a chance. If you're in South Central, the Hill Country, South Central Texas, outside of San Antonio, stop in for a beer. You get a discount if you say Tandem. Our good friends at Lone Tree Brewing Company, can't say enough about those guys. Anyone else you want to shout out, honey?
Our great kids.
Definitely. Our great kids and our grandkids, who really have been the inspiration for a whole lot of this. Tandem riding began with us on an old used Santana, towing a Burley with 2 kids and a dog behind it. It was quite the train.
It's true. Moved to a Cannondale that we've ridden, still have. So definitely shout out to Cannondale also. Just an amazing bike.
And now our kids all have tandems with their partners. So
our own little tandem club.
That's right. All right. That's it for now. We'll catch up with you later. Off to Bosnia.
Bye.